Hello and welcome back to Jesse's Vintage Garage, and here it is May 2nd, 2025, and it's like 59 degrees out here, finally. I mean, it's kind of a nice cool spring day yet. It's not too hot, because as soon as it's done with this cool weather, it's going to be freaking hot out all the time. So we're going to work on trying to get this bike fired up, and then possibly in a different video, get the 40 all running again and see what that's like now. But anyways, starting off here, we got to put oils in. That's where we left off, leaving it where we needed to put oil in everything and fuel. And then we're going to fire it up, see how if it runs right away. And then I'm going to take it for a little ride quick. And then maybe we'll probably check the timing also in this video. And then, yeah, it should be good. And then we just got to ride it a lot and break those rings in. So stick around here and let's see how this all turns out. So in this old book, it talks about the maintenance schedule for this bike. Of course, it's all fresh for us, but back then they would have a nice little sheet you can go through and check it off and do all the certain things at certain times and certain mileage. Yeah, it's kind of nice. And then, so capacities we're looking for. It talks about recommended lubricants in here for all the different areas, telling you what to use. Some of this stuff isn't available no more because they're not in production or not around anymore. But anyways, in this manual here, it talks about the capacity. So of course we have 4 gallons of fuel, 6 pints in the oil tank, and it talks about 7 1/4 US pints, 7/8 pint, 500 cc of the gearbox, primary chain case, 5/8 of a pint, 350 cc. We'll just do cc's for us. And 1/3 pint, 190 cc for the telescopic fork legs, which we already did. So I mean, you don't need to worry about that, but we did that a while back. But you got to do the other 4 things: fuel, oil tank, gearbox, and primary chain case. And of course, the primary chain case is not the same in this bike because as the other one, because of the fact that there's no communication holes between the primary and the engine. So we have to have 2 different types of lubricant, which we might run the same type of thing, and you probably could, but we might, well, we'll look into it, but we might run something different in there. So we're going to run this Lucas high performance motorcycle oil, non-synthetic.
Yep.
And 2050. We're going to run this stuff in the primary and in the main oil tank.
It's made for wet clutches.
Perfect. So I mean,
you put car engine oil in there, it'll slip.
And the only reason why I mentioned that just a minute ago was different stuff is because people have different preferences. But
now we gotta find cc's. There it is. 250, and 500.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 350?
That's 350 in the primary chain case.
That's pretty close.
Of course, that goes into there. It's easy fill hole there.
Yeah, right in here. We got the drain plug in, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Better check that. Yeah.
Okay, it's in.
Yep.
Okay, nothing else out.
Oh. All right, so now here we are off to the gearbox. Now then we're going to run GL4 in here because it's good for brass, and we have a lot of brass in there. GL5 eats brass kind of in a way, so we don't want to run that, right?
Right.
So there's the stuff we're going to be using. We need 500 cc in here. Yeah, we don't want our brass to get all ate up in there, so we got to use this good stuff.
Yep. 500 right there.
A lot of It's green oil because it's got a lot of zinc in it.
Brad pen is always had, was always green. Used to be called Kendall years ago. Okay.
So now here we are, we're onto the oil, putting the oil in, engine oil in. So the book says 7 1/4 pints. That comes out to 3 5/8 quarts. And we're going to, use this oil here. You got that ready to go already. It's the same oil we used in the primary side. So we'll go ahead and put 3 of these and 5/8 of one in, and we should be ready to move on to the fuel.
Gonna put gas in up there?
I'm not sure if we're going to put gas in up here or down there. But anyway, I was going to start off saying that we're ready to put fuel in. And I guess we're going to find out when we start putting fuel in if all the minor imperfections are fixed or not. So I'd hate to ruin the nice paint job on this to find that out that way.
Everything's tight.
Yeah, no, yeah. I know the petcocks are tight. We did that, and then they're off. And
Okay.
yeah, let's go ahead and put fuel in. Well, we shouldn't have any problems because I know we pressure tested and all that stuff. So I mean, we're just gonna find out. Just kind of looking around for any sort of leaks. And I don't see nothing. Yeah. Everything's dry, so that's good. It's not flowing past the shutoff on the petcock or the shutoff valves. So I mean, we had petcocks fail before where it just kind of flowed and filled carburetors up, and not in this case so far. All right, so here we are. It's outside. It's in the sunlight. Looking pretty sharp. And we're gonna go through starting it up, I guess. So, first of all, I want to make sure this clutch ain't stuck. You want to just hold that for me?
Yep.
It's free. Hold the clutch in and just rotate it.
Perfect.
Okay, so we got fuel. I'm just gonna run this side. Wait, I have to. Don't it? No, it's crossing over right now, so.
Push ticklers in. Now it might not idle because we don't know where the idle's supposed to be set yet, remember?
Yeah, right.
Got your keys?
Yeah, let's see what happens here. Alright, we got the idle a little bit there, and I'm going to take it for a ride here and see what happens. Talk about it when I get back here. Alright, well, just got back. I had a camera malfunction there, but when I came rolling up, but it runs really good. It had no problem idling and running down the road. It has no problems with the gears. I had no problem going in and out of every gear. Sometimes I had that problem with the Tiger, but not with this bike. And you know, that front brake, you can tell it's not the later brake. It doesn't want to slow down really easy. Maybe we just need to adjust it some more. But really nice and smooth. I got a huge smile. And yeah, let's really get into the shop and talk a little bit more. All right, so we're inside now. I don't know what to explain here, but this oil in the frame bikes just don't. They vibrate. That Tiger vibrates way more than this thing did. And it's just smooth going down the road and stuff. So, I mean, I'm impressed with it. And it's my first time riding an old Triumph like this one. So, and yeah. Dad's had a few of these. He's like, he could tell right away what I was getting at, but he knew my loss of words. He knew what I was saying. So, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's just crazy, the difference. We need to get this thing running again and check the timing. Otherwise, I think we're good everywhere else. The fuel off now, and for now, maybe we'll let it cool down and warm it back up, and then get it tested out and then finish the video here. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this bike. So we're getting ready to do the test here with the timing light, and we got external power source, and we did the same kind of thing when we were working on the 72 Norton, which video came out a little while ago, and then we're gonna get this thing up to about 3,000 RPM, and we're gonna see how our timing light looks with our timing marks. All right, so it's gonna get kind of loud. I'm gonna turn this fan on, and then I'm gonna get this started up, and then I'll turn the camera on and try to get the tach around 3,500. If it's accurate, hopefully it's accurate. So where we're gonna be at, so what it says. So. Or if it sounds crazy loud, then we might be able to tell by the sound. But anyway, just a minute here, and we'll get this thing fired up and check it out. See what we got. All right, you ready? Good, right on?
Here, you come over here. It's got red lines. You can see it really.
Yeah. Yep. You know, the camera might be messing with the light, but I seen it, and I think you guys kind of did too.
It was right up. The two reds lined right up.
So, yeah, that really worked out there. I think this kind of comes to the end for now. There might be some more on this bike coming up. I would like to put a real oil filter on it sometime if I get one of them. And then not much else. Oh yeah, maybe like change the exhaust. I mean, otherwise it looks pretty nice like this. But I'm glad that we went with the old pipes for the initial start, because in case it did get like out of timing somehow, it wouldn't have ruined my nice pipes right away by bluing. But can't tell if that even happened here, so we're good. It's not leaking anywhere yet. This is pretty much the first initial heat cycle, so now it's going to cool down, and when it's actually cooled down completely, we'll check some stuff like head bolts, get some miles on it. Then we'll have to check, recheck the valves, make sure that the valves are set right yet, and then a few more miles down the road, I might just run the timing light again just to check it out. But this runs really good compared to how it did when we first got the bike. So I mean, because it didn't quite run at all, if I remember right. So it's really a whole different bike. So, I hope you enjoyed everything in this whole series, and there'll be more to come on this bike. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the bike I'm going to ride when we go to Davenport this year. We'll do a little segment on riding the bikes around like we did last time, and yeah, this will be the bike. So yeah, see you guys again soon, and I hope you enjoyed everything, like I said. So